Okay, so we're learning here. We're learning here the Chofetz Chaim's dedicating a parak to the what he calls the Godel Onesh, someone who's Perish Hatzbay Min HaTorah. Onesh Perish Min HaTorah. So we're up to right the Charat Parak Daled, and it's Chof Hey Adar. The Gamu Nozov, the Fnei Hamokim. Kedisa Ba'ovesh Kol Mi She'en Isaac B'Torah Nikra Nozov. Nozov is someone who's how do you translate it into English? It's like when you get a bit of your teacher or your parent, you get a English. You're on the bad side, the corner, put in the corner, you're Nozov. Got a Nazifa. So you're a Nozov of Neyamokim, Pirkei Avos. You know what, to me, I share my personal, learning this. Mela, when he quotes Zoyars, so I don't really know Zohar too much. I have to admit, I'm not a very big expert on the Zohar, fortunately. But when he quotes like playing Gemaras and Pirkei Avos, and I've learned them, right? We've all learned Pirkei Avos at least once, and Gemaras and Brachas, and the statements are so strong, definitive, and it's just like when he's putting it all together here that it really gets a little scary. It's like really a serious thing. It's like when you learn it, you learn the Gemara. Okay, so you learn Pirkei Avos, and you move on to the next line in Pirkei Avos. But here, page after page after page, he's quoting again. The Zohar is okay, but many outright Gemaras, and when you sort of put it all together, it becomes it takes on a very strong seriousness, severity that we have to make sure that we don't let it just fly by. You don't want to go in one ear and go out the other ear. But all right, that's just my feelings here. So after break, I was okay. So here's another Zohar. Zohar Kodesh Pashas Mitzora Kama the Island V'nei Noshel Istamra or Chayu L'Dachum Kamei Kucharichu. How careful a person has to watch his ways and fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu, etc. Anyone who doesn't work, he's not Omo B'Torah, he's not Isaac B'Torah. So this is the parallel to Pirkei Avos. He's here they translate Nazifa as Rocha Kumimen, right? You're pushed away. You're far away from Hashem. The Shekhinah isn't with him. We all want Kivas Hashem Yitoiv. And if you're not, and the words of the Zohar is Omal and Osak, right? Then you're Nazifa, and the Shekhinah is not with you. V'inu Notoirin the Oslin Ime Stalkume, and the Shemrim, the Malachim, the Shemrim that accompany you, leave you. Not only that, but they announce. They make an announcement. Here in Yerushalayim, we all know the cars go around, make announcements. Istalku misachrona de planya. Make an announcement. Leave, like they said by Korach and Adosai. Moshe Rabbeinu said, leave their vicinity, separate yourself. So these malachim, they leave you, they don't watch you. And they announce, the planya, leave from around this person, because he doesn't, he's someone who's mezalzel, the covet of Hashem. He's not chos on the covet of Hashem. Vaile, woe to him. Woe to him because the malachim above and the people below left him, and he doesn't have a way in the derech hachayim. But when you are Isaac in Torah, and in and working in the Torah, which is his master. Come on the Torah Zimnin the Kabbalah in an Ortole. Yeah, there are so many Shemim prepared, waiting to protect you. And the Shekhinah is above you. The Kula Machriz Aleinu, the announcements are Vame Hovu Yakala Dukla the Malka, give covered to the Tzura, to the person who's similar to God. Hovu Yakala Brei the Malka. Oh, woman. Give cover to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and give cover to the Ben Melech, to the prince. It's not your Huba Omadein Vadasi, and you're protected in this world and in the next world. So that's, those desires going around this, like we had the Gemara, you quoted Gemara before, that someone who has able to learn and doesn't is included in Kidvar Hashem Bosa, that you've been Mefazi, you're disgracing the word of Hashem. So ultimately, you're disgracing Hashem. You're taking what's the most precious thing, Kaviyachol to Hashem, and you're mizalzel on it. It's not important enough for me to spend my time in it. I'd rather have a chicken sandwich. Another thing, now he's moving on. If someone is not, is not learning when he can, it could cause fire in the world, fires. Chazal, Gemara and Sanhedrin, right at the beginning. Any house that, there's no Torah being learned at night in that house, it's consumed by fire. And we know that every Jew is held responsible for the other Jew. So it could affect all the Jews. Of Adar happens to be today. Because Rabbeinu Yonah Bigeres HaTshuva. At the end of Shari Tshuva, there's a few pages called Igeres HaTshuva. When people finish their work and they go home, or Yoshvim Bakronis, Kishem Beitilim, or Mesich B'Dvarim B'Tem, or they sit in the corners, not doing anything, or just schmoozing from the Telmar Osam Rabbah. Atosam Kvedamoid, says Rabbeinu Yonah, their raw is great, and their sin is very heavy. Because ultimately, what is their actions? Their actions are being mevazal the Torah. You have a diamond waiting for you, and it doesn't interest you. You'd rather play in the mud. If you would believe, they would believe. If they would believe that there's no boundary, there's no end to the amount of reward there is for learning Torah. No tachlis, no end. So when they finish work, why aren't they going to Beis Medrash? When it comes to going to work, people are quick. They go quickly. And they know that it's really worthless. How could you forget the next world? And not at least a portion, part of the day, a day among the days, and a part of the day to learn. Why aren't you setting time? And don't say Oid Eis Lasos Hashem. No, there's time. I'll get to that. There's time. Tomorrow I'll learn. He says that's a sin. Osham Hashem. So it's not important. I'll do it tomorrow. Ramu Chazal, again in Gemara and Sanhedrin ala Pasuk. Kidvar Hashem bozav soisov heifer. He kores nefesh shahi avayna ba. Right, the Pasuk says, you mavaz the word of Hashem and you went against his mitzvahs, you'll be cursed. The Chol she'efshar lasak b'tayv and Isaac. So the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Tzadites, says anyone who has the ability to learn and doesn't, Shuvaisis Dvar Hashem. So you're scorning the word of Hashem. I think that's a better translation of Baisa. You're scorning it. Okay, Chayiv Kol Adam. Therefore, he's concluding. This is all the Geras HaTshuva. Everyone's obligated to takin mokim b'beisa. You have to have a corner in your house, a mini base medrash. Lumot tam halacha is where you learn the halacha, chumash, Each person on his level. When you're done with your work, so you go there, you go to that corner now to learn. But the corner is yafli etzel and nafshay lachsechos mini shachas. And with this takana, you have a designated spot. Be a room. You have a study. It could be a corner. It could be a corner with a little table, a learning place. And you have that designated. When you come home, so you sit down and you learn something. Says by doing that, it's a tremendous eitzah to save yourself from Gehenna. V'yachshav al kitzei, sit and think about your end. V'yovin lachusay kumot shamu Chazal. As Chazal teach us, shistaka b'shloisha dvar. Right? Gaze, think about three things. Ve'in atavol l'dei avera. One of them is ayin basom, ayin atahoylech. Right? V'nochet sheyikneis kol adam atzim b'posher or b'mechza litin tzedakah al koyim sheyiv sham ilechas l'beit medrash v'al mok. Asher som lo sefer echad m'sefer HaKodesh l'moed sham. And he says what it's proper is that you should impose upon yourself. He says here a monetary fee, a knas. It means a dime or whatever, or half a dime, small amount of time to give to tzedakah on every day that you were negligent and you didn't go to the base measures or you didn't go to your corner and open your safe and learn. You have to make yourself a system, a fine that you give to tzedakah. Ad kan l'shon Rabbeinu Yoin. These are the words of Rabbeinu Yoin. Let's do one more. We'll finish Perek Dalet. Hagor. Says the Chafetz Chaim. V'shamati ma'aseh gvir echad u'bal hasaken gadol. He says, I heard a story that a real rich guy, sheperish asmin gamri mehevli oilam lasa b'toras yerim v'layla. He made a decision. He's done. He's done with this world. Giving it all up. He's going to learn Torah day and night. So his family, his brothers, his family, they all ganged up on him. You're crazy. You gotta go work. What are you doing? You're a fanatic, giving it all up. Well, he told him that, but he didn't listen. When he see Ashram, they gave up on him. He went off the deep end. So people asked him. They asked the people who knew him as a big businessman, someone who's like, moving the world, big deals. From Paul Batzva, how did you do it? Where did you find the strength of character to ignore what your household is telling you? You walked out on them. You walked out of their business, and they were giving it to you. What was Chaim says there was a story like this, and they asked him, "Where did you find? What was the secret?" He said to them, "Hisponanti ma'ashamu Chazal. I gave thought to a Chazal. The Gemara says in Shabbos Gimel, "Ein termis kayemes el b'mi shememis atzmayola." Right, very famous Chazal. Everyone's heard it. The Torah is only miskayim, only exists by one who's memis atzmayola. Shenemar v'gomer. As the pasuk, he doesn't quote it. Uperishu kilu kvarmes. What does it mean? It means as if you're dead. You view yourself as if you're dead. Which means you should think. View it as if I've done everything I could do. I'm finished. I did whatever I could do. But I'm finished. View it as if you're at the end of your life. View it in the and then you're judged by Hashem. And you have to answer for all the time that you wasted. And you found wrong. They passed against you. And you're screaming. You're screaming, wow, I can't believe it. How I did so many bad things. If at that point they would say, okay, give you another chance. We'll let you back down there and do tshuva. For 1 minute you wouldn't be lazy. You just get to the session, you would start learning. Like and you wouldn't even stop off to see how your family's doing. After that experience, seeing the truth in your face, right? So he's saying that this Gvir said, he imagined this Chazal that says anything was comes to Misha Mimis Atzma, and he says the pshat is as if you're already dead, meaning if you view yourself like that and you see that what you're going to be judged, right? Then the Torah is going to be miskayim. Then your mom is sitting and learn. You can't actually other master if you have a nice of almost mikvar. Person has to look himself in his face and know based on his actions, he shouldn't be here anymore. If after he died, Hashem would give him tremendous chesed or a nice and give him the opportunity to do tshuva of a he certainly would not be lax. Right? He says, and I don't really have the schuyas to live like I know my actions, right? So, in other words, Hashem's doing that chesed, right? Ultimately, I really shouldn't be here anymore. I should be punished for my averos and stuff. Why am I here? Hashem's giving me a chesed, so I could still do good. So it says, if so, in came ma hesed he says, so if so, what hesed is Hashem doing? What's he doing that he's giving you long life? So you could do tshuva while you're alive. So certainly you should catch yourself, threaten yourself, using all your abilities. Lots of tshuva. At least that's how it's. So this is what the Greer said. I looked at the situation, and I saw. You know what? I pictured just like if after 120, I'd be judged all the time I wasted, and I would get a chance to learn and come back and do tshuva. I would go straight to base medrash, realizing what's on the line. I wouldn't stop to find out what's going on in the news. I wouldn't read the news, the headlines. I wouldn't speak to the family. I would go straight and learn. He says, so he says, I know my actions. I know what I deserve. And Hashem's giving me that opportunity. And therefore, that's how he strengthened himself to say, I'm done. I'm done. Now I'm learning. He says, at very least, says the Chafetz Chaim, let yourself that time. I mean, this is Zman Kavua, Baruch Hashem. We all show up every day at 8 o'clock. Come on, never skip, right? So a 10-15 minute slot. And don't listen to anybody who wants to disturb you. Say, this is my time. Okay. The mitzvah on Sunday, we'll do Perikei, which is the other side, how to strengthen yourself, to get more schar, more learning Torah.